Our principles of right and wrong form a framework for the way we live our lives. But where do these principles come from? Before you read on, answer the following question. If you believe that stealing is wrong, why do you believe this to be so? You probably said it's because your parents taught you, or perhaps because your religion forbids it, or maybe because society can't tolerate people harming one another. Your answer is an indication of your ethical system. Ethical systems have a number of characteristics in common. First, they are the source of moral beliefs. Second, they are the underlying premise from which you make judgments. Third, they are beyond argument. That is, although ethical decisions may become the basis of debate, the decisions are based on fundamental truths or propositions that are taken as a given by the individual using the ethical system. C.E. Harris, for instance, wrote in 1986, ethical systems as moral theories or moral philosophies, and defined them as a systematic ordering of moral principles. To be accepted as an ethical system, the system of principles must be internally consistent, must be consistent with generally held beliefs, and must possess a type of moral common sense. Belize further described ethical systems as having the following characteristics. They are prescriptive, that is, certain behavior is demanded or prescribed. They are not just abstract principles of good and bad, but have substantial impact on what we do. They are authoritative. They are not ordinarily subject to debate. Once an ethical framework has been developed, it is usually beyond question. They are logically impartial or universal. Moral considerations arising from ethical systems are not relative. The same rule applies in all cases and for everyone. They are not self-serving. They are directed toward others. What is good for everyone, not just the individual. We don't consciously think of ethical systems, but we use them to make judgments every day. For instance, we might say that a woman who leaves the children alone to go out drinking has committed an immoral act. That would be a moral judgment. Consider that the moral judgment in any discussion is only the tip of a pyramid. If forced to defend our judgment, we would probably come up with some rules of behavior that underlie the judgment. Moral rules in this case might be: children should be looked after, one shouldn't drink to excess, mothers should be good role models for their children. But these moral rules are not the final argument. They can be considered the body of the pyramid. How would you answer if someone forced you to defend the rules by asking why? For instance, why should children be looked after? In answering the why question, one eventually comes to some form of ethical system. For instance, we might answer because it benefits society if all parents watched out for their children. This would be a utilitarian ethical system. We might have answered the question because every parent's duty is to take care of their children. This is an ethical formalism or a duty-based ethical system. Ethical systems form the basis of the pyramid. They are the foundation for moral rules that we live by. Picturing an ethical pyramid is a way to visualize the relationship between moral judgment and rules. Moral judgment is the tip of the pyramid, supported by moral rules on which the judgment is based. The moral rules, in turn, rest upon a base which is usually one of the ethical systems described in your textbook under determining moral behavior. All possible ethical systems are not represented here, nor are the brief descriptions here given a full explanation of each system. You should be well advised to consult other texts in philosophy and ethics for more details. However, we will explore and provide brief summaries of most often used ethical systems.